So, hi everybody, it's James from Posture Stars, and today I'm talking to Zeena Dhalla, who is a premier posture alignment specialist, certified ergonomic specialist, personal trainer and Pilates instructor from Orange County, California area. I'm out of breath just talking about all your qualifications. Hi Zeena, how are you doing?
Hi, James. Thanks for having me here. So happy to be here.
I've been waiting so long to speak to you because there's a lot of stuff that we have in common, and I really wanted to get an idea about what it is that you do with posture and how you help people with your posture. So it's a perfect fit for the Posture Stars podcast. So you're in Orange County, California, and you're working with individuals and with companies. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes. So I do posture alignment therapy through the Egoscue method. I also do teach posture workshops for corporate teams such as Google, Microsoft, Red Bull, other large and small companies of all sizes. And then I do virtual ergonomics sessions as well as teach a virtual ergonomics workshop. And then my company also has a desk exercise program that we implement both for individuals and for corporations.
Perfect. And this is the ideal time for companies to be getting into that post-COVID when they're starting to have hybrid workforces who are really in need of that sort of thing. But don't get me going, also I'll be moaning about it for half an hour on our podcast. So I have a series of questions that I like to ask posture specialists. And the first question, let's get right on in it, is Zeena, what is posture?
Posture is how you sit and stand and move in space. So one of the mistakes that people make when working with me through the Egoscue method, and for those of you who don't know, the Egoscue method is a form of posture alignment therapy. It's the form of therapy that I practice, is that in our practice, we often take pictures, still pictures, and we watch people in all four positions, or people will come and say, wow, I look so rounded in my pictures when I take pictures with family or friends, and they assume it has to do about their static posture, but it's really so much more than that. So much of it is involved with how we move, how we walk, how we stand, and then how we sit and work at our workstation. And that can contribute to how our muscles work, how our joints work, but also can contribute to how we feel about ourselves. You know, if you're slouched over all day long in a posterior pelvic tilt, that can make you feel dowdy and slouchy and fatigued. So it really can encompass the entire body, physical and mental as well.
Yeah, totally. I have this discussion loads of times, and sometimes people counter it and say, well, no, they say, improving your posture isn't going to make you happier or more confident. It's just going to change how you are physically. And I say, well, try and take your body to the supermarket without your brain, and try and take your brain without your body. They're kind of intermeshed. And there's a lot of good research out there, and there's a lot of bad research out there. But at the end of the day, if you hold yourself well, I think you feel better about it, and you certainly feel more confident.
Yeah, you present yourself better to the universe. You feel better. Everything tends to work better. Things from your jaw, your eyes, your neck. I mean, everything can work better. Your digestion significantly can work better if your body is in the most optimal alignment. So we aim for optimal alignment because that's when we have the most efficiency in the body, when we can work better, stand better, walk better, all those things. But yeah, it can really impact so many things. The body achieves what the mind believes. It's my favorite quote of all. The body and mind are interacted. I mean, if you've ever been nervous in your life, James, if you ever were nervous meeting me today and you got a little butterfly in your stomach, you know, obviously there is a link between how we feel and what is happening in our brain, you know, so we have to take that into our posture work as well.
Yeah, totally. So speaking of taking it into your posture work, what exactly do you do? How do you help people to improve their posture?
Yeah, so my goal is to give them the tools that they can utilize to help improve their body. So like I said, we'll meet one-on-one with somebody. We'll look at their pictures. We'll look at them walk. We'll look at them bend. We'll do some functional testing. And then I design a home-based exercise routine for them. So, and what makes the Egoscue method unique is we'll have certain stretches that will hold one side or the other, or we'll have certain exercises that may be a full body exercise that we're integrating a lot of different muscle groups. We may have an exercise that has an isolation aspect to it, so we're only going to work the glutes here and nothing else. But then we also have a series of exercises where we'll get someone to lay in a position for anywhere from 5 minutes to 60 minutes and allow the gravitational force and breathing to realign the body. And I think that's the missing link in a lot of corrective exercise programs that the Egoscue method has, is that, again, mental piece of it. Sometimes what it takes is for us to relax, for us to allow the universe to shift us into a new position. And by that, I mean gravitational force, right? So, I'll design this exercise program for them. They'll go away. They'll do it every single day on their own. And then they come back a week later, sometimes 2 weeks later, depending on the client. We'll reassess. How are they feeling? How are they walking? How are they standing? Where's their pain level? And then we'll adjust that design. And so the goal is to give them a menu of exercises, anywhere from 15 minutes to, again, 60 minutes, depending on their life and their schedule and where they are in their pain, and for them to continue to just do those exercises on a day-to-day basis. And it is like brushing your teeth. I mean, your posture work is something that I feel like we all need to be doing on a day-to-day basis because of our lifestyles are so stationary, so rounded forward at a computer, that I'm of the philosophy that even if they're not working with me, they might have 1, 2, 3 exercises that they keep in their back pocket forever that will always help them just bring that body back into better alignment.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I've been tending to do now is having people take parts of their working day and have as part of their job working on sorting their posture out, because otherwise, it needs to be a daily thing. You can't just say, I'm going to change my posture, and then 10 minutes later, well, yeah, you changed your posture for 10 minutes,
Right. Exactly. And so there's so many elements to that. So to reflect on a comment you said about throughout the day, the other thing we do with the corporate work is teach people how to do this throughout their workday. So if someone's working with me one-on-one, the exercises we're going to give them might be exercises on the floor, or using a wall, or using a block, or something that requires some equipment and some time away from the workstation. But when I'm dealing with corporate clients and big teams, then the exercises we're teaching them have to do with either sitting or standing at their workstation. So it may not be as customized for their particular posture deviation, but some scapular retraction, some pelvic movement. I mean, those movements really can benefit anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that links me to the work that I also do with ergonomics. If you look at the research for ergonomics, more and more research is coming out about this concept of taking breaks. So why not, when you take that break throughout your workday, physically and mentally, why not do a little posture exercise at the same time? Why not retract your scapula? Why not activate your hip flexors? Why not, stretch your lower back? I mean, do all the things. I take the work from Egoscue method and really bring it to the workspace and the workstation as well. So 2 different separate practices, but all really aiming for the same goal.
Yeah, and that's becoming a lot more popular now, where people are taking modalities like Pilates or yoga and bringing them to the workplace office environment, where staff can apply those activities during the working day as opposed to after the working day, in order to try and patch themselves together again. Ergonomics is becoming, it's really coming into its own at the moment. At time of recording, it's sort of mid-2022. If you're listening to this in mid-2032, then I'm probably going to be even greyer than I am now. But at last, people,
Me too.
and Zeena too. At last, people, we're both sporting salt and pepper haircuts, and we've got very similar hair. So if anybody's watching on video, there's quite a lot of similarity going on. But more and more companies are starting to realise that they need an ergonomics program for their staff, and that posture and ergonomics go hand in hand. So it's always surprising when we find companies who haven't considered that, or who are new into that arena, and think, oh my gosh, we can get more productivity from our staff, and our staff can be happier. So we're more likely to retain them, and we can attract better quality staff by just having them look after what they do with themselves whilst they're working, which to me is a no-brainer,
It's no-brainer. So I can give you some statistics. So the numbers, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of research studies out there, but some other research studies that I have utilized in my workshops and things like that, if somebody's in neck or back or hand or arm pain, their productivity can go down by up to 36%. I mean, that's 1/3 of their workday. And just by implementing some ergonomics changes and shifts, you can reduce musculoskeletal disorders by 64%, lost work days by 88%. And then there was a new research study that just came out last year in 2021 on active breaks and postural shift interventions. And they're showing that concept of every 30 to 60 minutes taking a quick break or changing your posture or moving your body can reduce the onset of neck and low back pain between 55 and 80%. The reoccurrence between 65 and 78%, and it can reduce the recovery time by 100%. So, I mean, those are staggering numbers,
It's crazy, isn't it?
So, really, if there's one thing you do in your life, it's to learn how to take a posture break in the middle of your day.
Yeah, you heard it here,
and
folks.
that's going to help reduce pain, improve productivity, So, I mean, that's the overall goal. And you're right. Companies really need to embrace this. And the day of working in an office 5 days a week where you get to walk to the water cooler and you stand by there and drink a water with your friend or pick up coffee or climb the stairs for a meeting, those are gone.
Yeah.
Now we're waking up in the morning, working from home a couple days a week. We're sitting on our computer for a couple hours. Maybe we get up to go pick up the kids from school, come back, go back to our computer. I mean, the workforce is changing and the workforce wants this change. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the Great Resignation, right?
Yeah.
People are quitting at alarming rates. What are they looking for? They're not looking for more money. They're not looking for a different title. They're looking for work-life balance. Mm. So they are leaving these sort of companies that are still standing strong to those old-fashioned ways of working to come to companies where they can get that work-life balance. And so what we try to encourage them to do as a company is if you can offer them ergonomics from the moment they start, your workers' comp claims will go down, their productivity will go up, and they're going to feel appreciated. And you may be able to steal that person from another company. Not that I endorse this, but you may be able to encourage someone to come to your team as a result of offering them these wellness benefits that people desperately need.
Yeah, totally. It's an onboarding process. Why would you want someone to work for you for 4 years, 5 years, until there's a problem and then try and fix it? You need to be proactive about these. I just want to say, Zeena, I'm not sure what's more impressive, the stats that you've rolled off or the fact that you can remember all those stats and reel them off.
Well, I teach a lot of corporate workshops. The statistics. Well, I put the statistics in the workshop because I feel like people learn by doing, right? So by just saying this to you, James, you're like, whoa, I had no idea. So when people hear that, they go, wow, I had no idea the impact of this. So I always start every workshop with that really concrete research information so people don't think this is just a fluff hour of useless time where we're going to talk about elbow position, hip position, and exercises. No, it's really so much more significant than that. So I do dig in every month and do my research and pull and extract what I think will be useful for people to hear.
That's really great. In the UK here, we have a thing called DSE, which is kind of obligatory. And most people, a lot of companies are doing 99p DSEs where you just tick a couple of boxes and say, yeah, I know my screen wants to be at this height and my elbow wants to be doing this, and companies who are still offering that, I think, are completely missing the boat with regards to employee retention and well-being strategies, and actually having interactive sessions with someone like yourself or like myself is the answer to that problem.
It really is. And we believe people learn by doing. So our workshops not only include the exercises that we encourage people to do on camera with us, we do a live posture assessment. So if we're teaching a posture workshop on the biomechanics of posture and some of the things that you and I both know about different posture deviations, we teach a workshop on that. So for teaching that workshop, we'll have somebody actually stand up on camera after we've given them the theory. So we go through all the theory of like, this is what kyphosis is, this is what lordosis is, this is what sway back is. And then we have people analyze their peer. And it's actually so fun when you have an engaged team and they're like, oh, I see it. Oh, look at their feet, look at their knees, look at their head. And if they can do it for their peer, then they can do it for themselves, right? And then same thing with the ergonomics workshop. We'll get pictures ahead of time for that one, and we'll put them on screen again after we've given the theory of how you should be sitting and standing at your desk. People will go, oh yeah, that back of the chair needs to come up higher. Oh, look, the elbow position's too small. So that, again, learn by doing modality makes a huge difference. I mean, listen, I work for Google. They're my biggest customer. They have a huge ergonomics team. But people, if they're not fully engaged in it, unless it's in front of their face, it's really hard to get them to watch a video or take from a slide deck what to do. They really need to be told, engaged with, be part of the process. And so I feel like that's what we excel at and what my company is doing well.
Yeah, that's perfect. I guess you do, we don't tend to have it in the UK, lunch and learn. That's a US thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do more of that.
So we do lunch and learns for HR teams. And then, like I said, we'll do virtual events for Google, depending on like if they have a social hour and they want something fun to be done. I'm doing one of those on Thursday.
Fantastic. So, I better ask my third question, which is, if you were to offer some advice to our listeners right now, if there's one thing that they could do to improve their posture, Zeena, what would that be?
I would say do some really simple scapular retractions throughout your day. Just wake up those muscles behind you. So sit up tall, bring your hands down by your sides, just squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you and release, and do that 10 times. and then go back to typing at your computer. I mean, there's a gazillion other exercises I could give you, but just that simple act of waking up those muscles, pulling the shoulders back and reminding yourself where your shoulders should be in space, where your head should be in space. That little tiny act, you do 10 of those 3 times a day, 4 times a day. That's a good start for at least getting you out of the slouchy forward head position that a majority of us are in throughout the day.
Yeah, and I love that because it's a really simple thing to do. It's not like you're having to hang yourself upside down from a bar and touch your left toe with your right ear hole, and
we could do that if you want.
Well, I'm not going to try that
throughout your day. Yeah, I mean, I also love doing chest stretching, just grabbing onto the back of your chair, sticking your chest out, squeezing your shoulder blades together, keeping your elbows straight. Just a quick little simple chest stretch. Stretch is an amazing thing to do. Just sitting up tall and maybe doing some pelvic tilts where you're just tucking and arching your pelvis while you're even typing on the keyboard. You don't even have to, I'm talking to you right now, James, as we're doing this podcast, and you can see sort of by my shoulder movement here that I'm doing some pelvic curls. I'm sitting in my kneeling chair, So
I'm glad you told me. I thought there was an earthquake going on in California.
Yeah, right. But there's just some simple little things. We do glute contractions. And so James is watching me now, up and down, popping up and down in the video. And I'm just engaging my glutes, releasing my glutes, engaging my glutes, releasing my glutes. And again, I don't have to take my hands off the keyboard to do that, right? I can be on a video call, turn off my video, do some glute contractions, turn the video back on again, or keep it on to entertain people. Yeah. So simple little things that you can do throughout your day at your workstation that will give you the blood flow to the muscles. Really, at the end of the day, is what we're looking for.
Simple little things. There we have it. Great. Zeena, that's fantastic. It's been great speaking to you. How do people get hold of you if they want to find you?
Yes, they can go to my website, verticline.com. All of our services are listed on there. There's a contact us page. There's a link to be able to book a discovery call. So all the resources are there. It's VERTICALIGN. So it's take vertical and align, put it together, verticline.com.
Fantastic. Zeena, thanks so much for your time. It's been really informative. It's been lovely to speak to you, and I hope that's been useful to our listeners as well. You've been listening to the Positive Stars podcast. This is James signing over and out. Goodbye, Zeena.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.